Welcome to the Magnify Your Miracles podcast. Get ready to be inspired, uplifted, and connected to the miraculous energy of unconditional love that I call Mother Mary. If you're a highly sensitive, highly creative entrepreneur or light worker, and you want to magnify your impact and your intuition, you are in the right place. I'm your host, Reverend Frances Faden, interfaith minister, intuitive coach, and author of Meditation is Friendship with God. I can't wait to share miraculous stories, books, meditations, messages, and interviews with other miraculous light workers just like you. Are you ready to magnify your miracles? What are we waiting for? Let's get started.
Hello, my miraculous friend. This is Reverend Frances Faden. And before we get into this episode of the Magnify Your Miracles podcast, I wanted to let you know two things. One is that this is an encore episode with Saint Anthony of Padua. It's a really beautiful meditation, and I wanted to share it with you to really get you ready for next week's episode, which we have a very special guest, Pradita Finn, talking about ancestral magic and miracles. Pradita is somebody who really helps people connect with the energy of those who are on the other side. And so I just thought connecting with St. Anthony would be so helpful, because a lot of times when people cross over, we can feel kind of lost, right? You can feel like you lost your way. You can feel like you lost that connection. You can just have that energy of loss in your life. Well, St. Anthony is amazing at helping with that. So that's why I wanted to offer this to you again, so you could listen to it this week and get you in that right state of mind, and to really open your mind and heart for next week when we're going to be talking about connecting.
Hello, my miraculous friend, and welcome to another episode of the Magnify Your Miracles podcast. This is Reverend Frances Faden, and I'm so grateful we get to spend this time together. We're going to be talking about one of my favorite saints today, Saint Anthony of Padua. But before we get into this episode, let's take a few deep breaths together, just to get ourselves grounded and centered, letting yourself breathe in the energy of expansion and breathing out anything you no longer need. If you are indeed driving while you're listening, please keep your eyes on the road, but you can always bring your awareness to your breath. And as you do bring your awareness to your breath, your awareness starts to expand. We start to feel a little bit of a calmness coming over us as the mind gently starts to settle and become more receptive. And knowing that whatever it is that you most need to hear today will be exactly what you hear. So with gratitude, let's take one more deep breath together. And we can begin. All right, my friend. Well, welcome once again to the Magnify Your Miracles podcast. And I am delighted to be able to introduce you to one of my really good friends who happens to be on the other side of the veil, and that is St. Anthony of Padua. St. Anthony is one of my personal patron saints. He's also a patron saint of my family. And if you don't know him, you're about to get connected with his energy. And if you do know him, this will be a fun time for you to connect with his energy as well. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about him, and then we are going to have a little time for you to connect and commune with his vibration. So St. Anthony is originally, even though he's St. Anthony of Padua, which is in Italy, he's actually originally from Portugal. And he was a Franciscan. He's a Franciscan friar and a Catholic priest. And he was born, I think, in the 1100s, 1195 or something like that. And the reason that we're doing this podcast episode today is that his feast day is actually June 13th. And this episode should be coming out somewhere around June 9th. Now, if you're listening to this episode at another time, that's perfectly fine. But I did want to give people who want to connect with his energy, especially around his feast day, a chance to do so. The other thing that's really special about this episode is by request. One of my YouTube followers said, "Hey, you do meditations with these saints. What about St. Anthony?" And I was like, absolutely, I will do that. And so if you ever have a saint that you want me to connect with or an idea for a podcast episode, let me know. I'm happy to answer requests as I can and as I'm able to. So as I said, St. Anthony is probably most famous for helping people find things that are lost. He's the patron saint of lost things. And most people interpret that in a really mundane way, meaning I lost my car keys, I've misplaced that book, where did I leave my phone, those kinds of things. And that is true. My aunt still prays to St. Anthony today. If she loses something, she says, "St. Anthony, please help me find my car keys," or whatever it might be. And that's perfectly valid. But I'm going to take you a little bit deeper with St. Anthony, because ever since I've been working with Mother Mary, one of the things I can tell you is that St. Anthony helps to find that which is lost or missing. And so I would ask you, are you feeling lost? Or have you lost something in your life that perhaps is not an external tangible thing, like your car keys, but maybe you've lost a little bit of your faith, or maybe you've lost your enthusiasm, or maybe you've lost your focus, or your joy, or your peace. Profound questions, aren't they? Once I started working with St. Anthony's energy, when I started working with Mother Mary, and she guided me to work with his energy, I started to realize how profound this saint really is. Now, if you don't know who he was an amazing preacher. That's one of the things he was known for. I'm just going to read this to you that I have found online. Noted by his contemporaries for his powerful preaching, expert knowledge of Scripture, and undying love and devotion to the poor and the sick, he was one of the most quickly canonized saints in church history and was proclaimed a doctor of the church in 1946. But this is the thing I really wanted to tell you. Miracles, my friends, miracles are very often associated with St. Anthony. So I'll read you this other part too. Beyond his education and preaching skills, St. Anthony is known as one of the great miracle workers, healing the sick and raising the dead. But one of his most famous miracles involves a group of fish. In a town in Italy, after the townspeople had refused to listen to him and they even mocked him, St. Anthony turned to the ocean and started preaching. Soon enough, a large school of fish rose up from the water and appeared to listen intently, only leaving after St. Anthony finished his sermon. Even after his death, miracles continue to be attributed to this rather humble Franciscan priest. So, of course, we're going to feature him in the Magnify Your Miracles podcast because he is definitely one who was able to have miracles happening through him and still happening today. So I'm just going to ask you to think about this for a moment. What is it in your life that feels like it's missing? Or what is it that you feel like you have lost? Now, you can be feeling lost, like I feel lost on the path. I lost my way. Maybe you lost a great love in your life. Maybe somebody has crossed over. Maybe you've lost your inspiration or your enthusiasm or your fire, your passion. Maybe you feel like you've lost your vitality or your vibrancy. And maybe you just feel a little bit lost. Well, if that's true, and I know we all feel that way from time to time, this is the saint that I would love for you to connect with, because everybody that I know that has ever connected with the energy of St. Anthony has experienced help in one form or another. Now, there is a beautiful chaplet of St. Anthony that you can do. And I'm not going to go over that today. Maybe I'll save that for a future podcast. But I encourage you to spend a little time and get to know this powerful saint and ask him to reveal himself to you. Ask him to make his presence known. Just say, St. Anthony, help me. Help me to connect with you. Help me to know that you're here with me. Now, because he's a Franciscan, very much looking like St. Francis of Assisi, he's going to be wearing his brown robes, very, very simple. He was alive 900 years ago. But he's very much connected with people who are spiritual teachers, people who are ministers, people who are healers. And that, my friend, is most likely you. People who have that in common. He very much works with people like you and I to help us to be able to bring more light into the world. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do a little bit of a guided meditation. I'm going to ask you to get yourself into a comfortable position if you're not already in one. And again, bring your awareness to your breath. Breathing in, that beautiful energy of expansion, breathing out, whatever feels heavy, whatever you no longer need. And just let yourself imagine, we're going to be using your God-given power of imagination, known as the mind's eye. I'm going to ask you to let yourself see and feel in that beautiful mind's eye, a little ball of golden light right in the middle of the chest area. And as you're breathing in, allow that energy to begin to expand. Breathing out anything that feels heavy or old, or just that you're done with it. Let it go. Letting this beautiful golden light vibration bless the heart center as it continues to expand until it fills the entire chest area, front and back, inside and out. And this beautiful golden light vibration, the truth is that it is always present. And this is the frequency that your higher self lives in at all times. So we're going to keep this beautiful energy expanding. What we're really expanding is our awareness. So in the next inhalation, allow this energy to move rapidly down the body, into the legs, the feet, the toes, moving down the shoulders, into the arms, the hands, the fingers, moving up the neck into the head, until you see and feel yourself completely filled with this beautiful golden light vibration. And now in that mind's eye, let yourself see and feel that St. Anthony is standing right behind you, gently putting his hands on your shoulders. And you may feel some healing energy coming through his hands and down into your body temple. And just let yourself see and feel St. Anthony putting his left hand between your shoulder blades on the back side of the heart center. As he reaches around and puts his right hand on the front side of the heart center. And as he's doing this, we can see and feel electric energy coming out of his fingers, out of his hands, into the heart center. Sending healing energy to the physical heart and to the emotional and energetic heart. He is right now bringing in and waking up your inner joy, waking up the energy of divine love, waking up the energy of peace, waking up the energy of courage, waking up the energy of enthusiasm within you. And let yourself feel that electricity now going from the chest area out into the body, bringing life force to your nervous system, and to all the systems in the body temple. Now, as he is doing this, I can hear that he's praying over you. So he's blessing you not only with the energy from his hands, but the energy of and the vibration of his words. I'm going to see if I can hear what he's saying as he's blessing you right now. He is calling on the energy of the Holy Spirit to wash over you, to release you from whatever holds you back, to inspire you and lift up your spirit, your inner enthusiasm and joy. Now, very gently, he's going to take his hands and put them back on your shoulders. And he's asking you, now that he's cleared out these channels within you, he's asking you to offer, to ask for whatever it is that you feel has been lost or is missing, you are ready to receive again. And whatever that is, he says, go ahead and speak that either out loud or in your own mind. Just speak it as clearly as you can. And the phrase that he's using, that he encourages you to use, is I welcome home. I welcome home my joy. I welcome home my enthusiasm. I welcome home my sense of purpose. I welcome home my faith. I welcome home my creativity. I welcome home my compassion. I welcome home my desires. I welcome home my inner peace. Whatever it is for you, just welcome it home right now. And let that energy that you've been missing well up from inside of you. And if you can feel that energy in you, just mentally let yourself say, thank you, St. Anthony. Thank you, St. Anthony. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And as you allow that beautiful, peaceful energy to wash over you, He puts his hands on the back of your head as he is giving you a final blessing. And then he is walking around in front of you and giving you a blessing on your forehead. Now I encourage you to offer your thanks to St. Anthony in whatever way works for you. As we together say thank you, we release him from our circle of love and gratitude. To all the great beings who are always here helping us, we release them with love and gratitude. We gently bring your awareness back to your beautiful body temple, which is so alive right now with this beautiful energy of everything coming back home to you. Your peace, your joy, your love, your vibrancy, your vitality, your creativity, all these beautiful energies coming back home to you. You feel your body temple now more alive than it's been in a long time. You feel your spirit, your emotions, your energy more alive to you than it's been in a long time. And we say, thank you, St. Anthony, for helping me to find that which was lost, but now is found. All right, my friends, so take a few deep breaths and just let yourself imagine that you can feel the energy of Mother Earth rushing up and connecting with the bottoms of your feet. Let that energy move up through the feet into the ankles and the calves, feeling a grounded energy, but feeling so open and supported and loved with the St. Anthony energy as this energy moves through the knees, the thighs, into the hips, moving through the lower part of the torso, up the spine, up the middle and upper torso, down the arms, up the neck into the head, till you see and feel yourself loved and supported by this beautiful Mother Earth energy. Now very gently start to move your body temple, move the fingers, move the toes, whatever works for you, and taking one more deep breath with me. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. All right, my miraculous friend, thank you so much for spending this time. I hope that this gives you a taste of what it's like to connect with St. Anthony's energy, and I really encourage you to develop this relationship further if you feel called to connect with him. You can always do this meditation over again whenever you feel the need to connect in and to welcome home whatever might be feeling lost within you. It's a beautiful, beautiful practice and a beautiful energy. As always, I am so grateful for you tuning in. And if you did receive some benefit, please, it would be so great if you could let your friends know about it. If you could leave a review, that would help me out tremendously. And also, always leave me a comment. I love to see your comments and how these episodes are impacting you. It makes my day more than you know. So thank you so, so much for tuning in today. And remember that the key to magnifying your miracle is to remember that your miracle is already here. God bless you, my friend. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Magnify Your Miracles podcast. I'm so grateful to be able to spend this time with you. If you want even more inspiration, feel free to visit my website, francisfaden.com or magnifyyourmiracles.com. And if you did enjoy this episode, I would really appreciate it if you left a review on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever it is that you connect with awesome podcasts. Remember, the key to magnifying your miracles is remembering that your miracle is already here.